Broncos Country, 38-6. Atlanta Falcons got destroyed in the Mile High City today. Couldn't have been a better feeling. We got probably one of the first, I'd say, fully complete games out of all facets of our team, both offense, defense, and special teams. We got a lot of really good feelings to buck today on the Buck Your Feelings post-game show here. Tons of really good stuff to get to. It has been a Orange and Blue Network takeover here today. And with that comes the conclusion of the marathon today. And so with that being said, let's get into some positive feelings to Buck. Let's go, boys! Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Woo! Yeah, here we are. So welcome to the Buck Your Feelings podcast show. I am your host, your driver on this escapade. Jay Weaver, the Dream Weaver here. Next to me, riding solo, but really the captain of the day, because you are the marathon leader here in this race. Johnny Bakke, the Mile High
I do it
Viking,
every
how
time.
are you?
Dude, oh my God. For those that were with us during the neighborhood, you know just how pumped I've been for the last 3 hours. And right now, my adrenaline is still just flying high right now. And I'm telling you, man, I know that as soon as we get off the air, after doing this for like almost 7 hours straight, I'm going to crash so hard. But it doesn't matter because the Denver Broncos beautifully destroyed the Atlanta Falcons 38-6. Oh my gosh. Jay, how are you feeling?
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Dude, I'm feeling great, man. What a game to watch in all facets of the team, like I had said before. The offense was kicking, probably more efficient than we've seen in any game of this season. We come to expect this defense to show up and show out. The special teams has been consistent until it wasn't, but nothing notable from the special teams today. Other than Marvin Mims, I will give a shout out to Marvin Mims for his returning ability. That showed out today. But I'd say first and foremost, this offense, man. The league was already shaken in their boots by our defense, but this offense, man, is legit. And if we can string together, 28 points plus average, this league's on notice. Like we got problems for people to deal with. What do you think?
Oh my gosh, Jay, this listen, to anybody that still had a question, I'm sorry. Like, anybody that still had a question whether we have our guy or not. And I know some people are, even me, we're kind of talking about like not believing after 2 years, until after 2 years has gone by with a quarterback. But you know what? I don't need to believe because I believe now. I mean, Bo Nix is the guy. He's the guy. Listen, look at this. Yeah, he tied the record today, okay? Tied the record today with Dak Prescott from 2016. From 2016.
Yeah.
Or, most touchdowns in a game. And by the way, that's the season that Dak Prescott won Rookie Offensive Player of the Year, okay? Bo Nix just tied him. He's right behind Jaden Daniels in yardage now. Jaden Daniels has got nothing on Bo at the moment. Bo is the guy. He's going places. He is places. He is in Broncos country, and he's our quarterback. He is the guy. I got nothing else to say about that. Look at this. Look at these numbers.
This was the statement.
Nix. Oh, my God. Bo Nix, 28 for 33 for 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions for a where was the rating? There was a passer. I had the passer rating up somewhere here for 145 passer rating.
Yeah.
What?
Dude,
that's insanity.
That is nuts.
Bonkers.
So
that is absolutely crazy.
I didn't understand. 5 incompletions, only 5 incompletions, and I can remember 2 drops from my wide receiving crew. So that is absolutely remarkable. And another underlying stat here is 1 sack. 1 sack given up.
It was only because I was agreeing with you, 1, and it's only because his right tackle got forced backwards into him
and tripped him. Yeah. Thanks, Mike McGlinchey. Correct. Dude, I what a stellar performance for Bo. Jaden Daniels has been trending down ever since his injury. That Washington offense is not the same efficient offense as it was at the beginning of the season. And like I had said on pregame, the trend of offense going into the winter months is that you need to be more reliant on play action, more reliant on a running game, more reliant on, the fundamentals of an offense, not necessarily the trickery that you get in warm weather months. And that's what Washington was extremely good at. So it is, in my opinion, the trend is coming here for a Rookie of the Year, Bo Nix, man. I don't know how that can be avoided coming with the future schedule that we have and the defensive opponents that he's going to be matched up with. We're coming hard.
We are coming hard.
Super important, man.
And we've already got some of our friends in the comments talking about it.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, go for it, Jay.
No, we got Denver City Productions in the house. Let's buck and go, boys. And for sure, man, love to have you in the chat here. I know, was he in the neighborhood? Or she in the neighborhood? He was
in the neighborhood. The Denver Productions was in the neighborhood the entire time. Oh,
dude, so he's been in the marathon as well with you.
Yep. Mark from Georgia, good friend of the show. We haven't seen in a while, saying the Denver Broncos has got 100 cans of Febreze to get the stench of the dirty turds out of the stadium.
Yeah.
Man, D-Rock
Atlanta
is in the house.
Wasn't even competitive.
Yeah, and
D-Rock.
What's a Falcon to an American Eagle? Us.
That's terrific.
Mile High Country, baby. Broncos Country.
Gotta love it.
Dude, I'm feeling so good right now. It's euphoric almost. How beautiful of a win this was. It's so good to see the green W above your head, Jay. We got the dub. The dub. And you know what else? We do have to show some love for another dub, though, real quick. Can we?
I was gonna say you get your dub in. Get
my dub.
We need the plug.
All right. Well, Broncos got the dub, and now I'm going to help Broncos Country get their own dub. All right, and that's by clicking the link in the bio below for Dubby Jitterless Energy blend. That's W.GG. That's the sponsor of today's show. Dubby's Jitterless Energy Blend comes in a ton of delicious flavors. Jay and I both swear by this stuff. It got enough caffeine in it to kick you off and get your day going, because every cup of Dubby has 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine. However, the best part about Dubby is that you won't have the jitters or the crash later because it has no sugar. It also has no calories, no maltodextrin, no fillers, no artificial colors. It's all natural. Nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, and nootropics, including their own patented nootropic called Neurofactor that helps you stay sharp. And the caffeine is derived directly from the coffee plant. This stuff is all natural and it's delicious. And because there's no sugar, you will not crash later. All right? That's how you get yourself the dub, but I'm going to make that dub even sweeter because at the checkout, you're going to punch in code NRWOB10. That's NRWOB10 will get you 10% off your order. Guys, the Broncos got the dub. Time for you to get your own dub. W.GG. What's up? All right. Thanks.
And hey, and while we're plugging, just let me get a quick plug here. Orange and Blue Network, for anyone that is new to this stream, I'm sure if you were on the neighborhood, you already heard pre-game, we already got this in, but post-game, we got to get this in. Orange and Blue Network here, we are a fan-led podcasting network with a slew of different options for you, and more to come. Johnny, go ahead, plug that Friday show.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, up and coming this Friday is the premiere for those that speak Spanish or know a Broncos fan who speaks Spanish or wants to be watching a show in Spanish. The premiere episode of Viva Los Broncos comes this Friday at it's going to be at 8 Eastern. No, sorry, 7 Eastern. No, I'm wrong. I'm absolutely wrong. 8 Eastern. Sorry. 8 Eastern. Viva Los Broncos will premiere on both Orange and Blue Network and on MHRT Network, all entirely in Espanol. Don't miss it, Broncos Country. Tell your friends who speak Spanish. They're going to love it. It's the very first, by the way, we have done everything we can to confirm this. The very first ever fan-led, entirely in Spanish Broncos podcast. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. All right, and but back to this real quick, Jay. Yeah, like, subscribe, share, comment, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Check out the audio version of all of our podcasts. And Jay, send them over to MHRT as well.
Absolutely, dude. MHRT network that we partner with, the parent network of the neighborhood that you just got off of during the games. So, just for anyone that's not aware, we got pregame, we got postgame. They usually have in-game analysis. But we have a great partnership, and they have a slew of awesome personalities and shows as well. So please go like, share, and subscribe to their channel as well, as we are a great brotherhood, sisterhood, all of the above hoods of great content for your Denver Broncos. So
well, and Jay and I, for those that remember from a few years ago, Jay and I are previous hosts. Our flagship show here on this network, on Orange and Blue Network, used to be a show on MHRT Network for a very long time. So it's a true partnership. It's a true friendship, and we love being part of that. Mark from Georgia, imagine if Bo Nix used Dubby before a game.
He'd be MVP. I'm talking 50-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
Right. He'd be running all game. He'd be getting hit and getting up and be like, let's go again.
Absolutely. And I'm really glad to see D-Rock in the comments here, because with his race relations in liquor, he says he's too drunk to taste this chicken. So glad to have you here, bud.
That's great. But I thought you were having tenderloin for the game.
That's right. That should have been a good base, man.
Denver City Production says gonna be here all year. Dude, we are here for it, Denver City. We are so glad to hear that. Glad you love it. Rayvan Hijazi is a new name in the chat as well, Jay. Gives us an LOL, but hey, thank you, Rayan. I'm just gonna say Ray. Thanks, Ray.
Rayon. Yeah.
Rayon.
Yeah. I don't have a dream. I will raise this hair dryer. Raise the hair dryer to you.
Girlfriend's hair dryer, Jay.
Yeah, it is. Hold the phone here. We've got another new name in the chat here, and it is Boo Broncos, and all they have to say is boo. So not even a comment of Boo Broncos, just shorten it up, just going with the boo. But in any account, we appreciate you. All fan hoods are welcome here. So Boo Broncos, if you would like to shout out your own team, we'd appreciate just knowing your background. So keep it coming.
The host of the up and coming Viva los Broncos, Adon Diaz, a 6'10" Mexican, says Broncos win, Chiefs lose. What a great effing day!
The perfect weekend has been completed. So just me personally, you got a Nebraska Cornhusker loss, you got a Colorado Buffalo win, you've got a Denver Bronco win, and you got a Kansas City Chief loss. That, my friend, is a perfect football weekend.
And we still have a Nuggets game to come tonight.
Well, it's happening right now. I think we're at halftime, or we just came out of halftime. I'm not sure exactly.
I'm not sure. I haven't been able to see any of it, but I mean, I don't really. I'm not. It's been all about the Broncos today for me.
It's November basketball. Who cares? So.
I mean, I still care, Jay.
Well, but we're in the thick of things here for Bo Nix, the Bo Nix era. So I don't think Jokic is even playing. He's got his second game off for his kids, so even less maybe of a reason to tune in. But nevertheless, Johnny, with the crazy ups and downs that we've had this season, do you think this is our most complete game, as we have kind of been searching for a complete game to round out all the three facets of our football team? What do you think? Do you think this is?
Well, I mean, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. This is the Broncos' best all-around game of the season. We've seen really good showings in different facets of the game, in different areas, in all of our wins. Yeah. But this is the first complete victory. One where I can sit here and confidently say to you that the offense played their hearts out. They left nothing on the field. The defense left nothing on the field. Special teams played phenomenally. It was an all-around team victory, and that is something that we have not had in a long time. We've had snippets. I always scream that. We've had snippets of it up to this point, but this has been the best all-around whole game across the board for the Denver Broncos of the 2024 campaign, and we have had, in my opinion, since 2016. Ooh. So I'm just saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of another more well put together whole game. I cannot think of a more well put together game in that time. So Boo Broncos says the other team should have won. Okay, all right. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm not sure how sad you are on about the other team not winning, since you're saying the other team instead of the team's name. But that's okay,
maybe this is just cheap in disguise. Coming back.
Maybe it's cheap in disguise. I don't know. But you know what? Go ahead and troll. As long as you keep if you keep the trolling clean, I won't kick you.
So
I don't care.
Keep it rolling.
But I will say this: if you are just trolling, well, I'm going to tell you right now: you get nasty, or you make it personal. Bruh. It won't end well. It's not. It's going to end with you being banned. But beyond that, do your thing. Troll away. I'm happy. I'm in a good mood, and nobody and nothing can kill my mood right now.
And speaking of that, we got D-Rock in here. Captain Kirk this, Captain Kirk that. But who was on the sideline in the fourth? Oh, was it Captain Kirk? You know why? Because he was bankrupt from his Kohl's cash. Had nothing else to spend for the rest of the game. And I can't wait to hear his post-game to someone ask him, why were you benched? Why were you not on the field? Because I think that's a valid question to ask if you're a starting caliber quarterback in this league with
a veteran starting caliber quarterback.
And you're a playoff team. Even though they lost and they look like crap, that's a playoff team in the NFC. The NFC just sucks. So, that's crazy to me that he got benched. Yeah. Nuts.
Mark from Georgia says, I think Boo Broncos is Mundungus.
That would be the ultimate troll job.
but Captain Kurt, I love that the reference. Captain Kurt this, Captain Kurt that. Where was he on the sideline in the fourth? Well, he was benched in the game. Captain Kirk, yeah, that's a Star Trek reference. But no, man. Denver City Production says must be a Kansas City Chiefs fan. It's Sean Payton, the first coach to sweep the NFC South since 2015.
Dang,
that's huge. That's huge. It is. It's
not a coincidence that he owned that division in New Orleans. He did. He knows that division like the back of his hand. So I'm not that surprised that he, came out and dominated that division this year.
Denver City Production saying, I'll keep it clean from here on out. My bad. Hey, so far, Denver City, you've never said anything that was truly, terrible, and you haven't gotten personal with us. So, as long as you keep it that way, we're good, man. You're fine. But like, he says, please don't bench me for my comment. No, not at all. D-Rock, Cole's Cash should have shot the rollback.
Ooh, yep, that's a
the rollback
reference, I think.
The rollback just destroyed Cole's Cash.
Cole's Cash expired. You didn't use it within the 48 hours you're allotted, which is some crap in itself.
But I hate that. Yeah. Jay and Johnny, much love from our friend Blitz B Reppin'. Much love to you, Blitz. We love you, buddy. Jay, I don't know. I want your thoughts on the defense. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons were a top 5 offense in the league going into this game. We held them to 2 field goals and kept them from even seeing the red zone after the second quarter. What are your thoughts on this defense to date? I mean, all season, obviously, but today specifically.
Dude, Brandon Jones, who? I mean, I didn't really see any huge drop-off. I will give it to... specifically, I want to give some love to PJ Locke. I thought PJ Locke had a really good game, instinctive being where the ball was, to the point in which we didn't really hear Devon Key's name, like in a positive or negative. And honestly, that was best case scenario, I think, for our defense this game. We knew our pass rush was going to get there. Their offensive line is hot garbage up against pass rush. We knew that facet of this game was going to be there no matter what. I didn't expect them to just absolutely abandon the run to the extent that they did. Granted, game plan kind of dictates that when you're down 3+ touchdowns real early, but that was, I thought, their only hope to win this game was if Bijan and Tyler Algier went off. But our defense did exactly what they were supposed to this game. It was, I hate to say this, as great as our defense was, but in giving up 6 points, kind of pedestrian. Not like crazily good, but isn't that a great benchmark for where we are defensively right now? That a mediocre, all right game still yields 6 points for a top 5 offense in this league? Crazy.
It's insane. It's insane. And it's wonderful, and it feels good, and we're happy about it. And Boo Broncos coming back in saying, I would be so happy if the Broncos lost. Yeah, you know what? I would be so happy if Carrie Underwood broke down on my street in a rainstorm and came to my front door, but guess what? We don't all get our way.
So, what happened on Sunday night?
Blitz B Reppin' saying, just now hearing about the whole Sean Payton thing, accusing Andy Reid of paying the rest to help beat us. I would love to know where you're getting where that article is or anything like that, because I haven't seen anything about it. I want to look into it. I don't know. I've heard nothing about accusations like that. From a coach making those accusations. Like now, fans say it all the time, but we rarely hear about a coach making that kind of an accusation. So please, if you could give me the link, post the link in the comments or something for me to find that article. I'd love to read it. Blitz saying, I felt bad for Justin Simmons on that group pile up on Williams. He hit Williams and had no chance to stop him.
Let's hold it right there. Let's pin that right there, Johnny. Whom here, after watching the video of Justin Simmons hyping up his defensive unit and saying what he did, some explicitive terms against the Denver crowd and environment, do you feel bad for Justin Simmons? I feel like Justin Simmons lost a lot of fans today. The way he was, speaking to his own team, granted, but those were not very nice words to people that, he supposedly loves in the community.
All right.
What say you?
Here's the thing. I'm not off on my fandom of Justin. He's a friend.
Did you hear that, Cole?
I did, but here's where I'm at with it, okay? In that environment, okay? I mean, in the Army, I did boxing. I was not great. I wasn't a Golden Gloves boxer, but I did do some boxing. I loved to fight. And I'm going to tell you right now, usually it was against somebody that I was close with. And in those moments when I'm getting hyped up, I'm sitting there, I'm trying to get my blood boiling so that I can fight better, and I'm trying to get myself, my adrenaline pumping. I was on the side of the ring, locking eyes with my opponent and saying terrible things about his mother and other things that I would normally not say to someone that I care about. And to me, this is the exact same situation. Is Justin Simmons loves Broncos country. He loves Denver. He loves Colorado. He loves Broncos country. He loves the Broncos. And he always will. But in that moment, in that one moment right there, we were mortal, for the next, 60 minutes of playtime, we were headlocked as mortal enemies. And so during that time, in that moment, he is trying to, he's not going to, it would not do his team well in either the game or even his own team that he is playing for right now, their respect for him. If he was like, all right, guys, so this is my old team and they're my friends and those are my fans up there. Let's go out there and have a good game, man, because they're not going to respond to that. The team isn't going to respond to that. They're not going to respect him for it because he's not a Bronco anymore, guys. I hate to tell you, he is a Falcon. And so in that moment, he's doing what he should be doing. He is standing behind the team that he is on, and he's getting them fired up and getting himself fired up. At the end of the day, it doesn't change his love for Broncos country, and it shouldn't change Broncos country's love for him.
He has always been a team first player, player's player, a in the trenches guy. You are right. It just stings a little when you have someone like him say the things he did today. I will be interested to hear his tone in some post-game questions in and around his return and what his temperament of that is. Because I can't help but think, on the flip side of it, every single time Von Miller is asked about the Denver Broncos, all he does is gush.
Hey, Jay, hold on 1 second. I will be right back. Just keep it rolling.
It's all good in the hood. So I was a little upset, to be quite honest, when I heard that news about Justin Simmons. So I don't know. Let's see here. We got Boo Broncos, and if I couldn't guess, Boo Broncos, my 5-year-old says all the time. I'm assuming my 5-year-old's not on his own personalized YouTube account typing this out. So Boo Broncos, it would be impossible for me to be happier if the Broncos lost. Hate to break it to you, Boo Broncos, but looking at the schedule, Broncos might not lose another game. So stick that in your Wheaties, or hearty ha. Mark from Georgia. I would be happy if Swifty bought the Chiefs. I would not, because she'd probably get the Chiefs even more favorable calls with the refs. With as much as Swifties sway the media demographic of NFL games these days. So hard pass for me. Let's see here. What else we got? Blitz kind of agreeing, with Johnny. Love the guy. Can't hate him, Jay. I'm not as big of Justin Simmons guy as I think my cousin is here. He was good, but he was a good player on a losing team all the time. So I wasn't that upset to turn the corner culturally, to get some new voices of leadership on that side of the ball. So But let's see here. 6'10" Mexican, Don Diaz, one of the homies on the NRW crew here. No, homie, he said what he said, and at the end, it was F them instead. Oh, wow. We got Dr. Seuss over here. Nothing but rhymes for Don over here. But, dude, you're totally right. He said what he said, and he should get to answer that post-game. I hope maybe a Denver media person can sneak into their locker room and ask him about that. But let's see here. Oh, my gosh. Denver City production, the Kansas City Lakers. Yeah, that pretty much what would be what it is if Swifty did buy that team, because they would get all the calls that LeBum gets currently in the NBA. So,
no, I mean, and I saw Don's comment there, and I'm sorry, Don, you and I are good friends. I love you, but no, I still love my Justin Simmons. I still consider him a friend, and I'm telling you right now, man, like, to me, it's just a game moment. It's just a game moment.
And I'm sorry,
like me and my wife will get in arguments. We'll say things to each other that like, you know, I don't necessarily mean, but I'm heated in that moment, and I say something stupid, and then we go back and we talk about it and we forgive each other, and it's like, I'm sorry I said that. You know, it was just the heat of the moment. That to me, that's Justin Simmons.
Hey,
comment.
As long as I hear that post-game apology, I'm all good, you know, but you got to apologize after when you say dumb things. But let's see here. Blitz, I want to ask a quick question, very direct question, Blitz. Are you being paid by Mundungus to slander my boy Damari Mathis? Because it didn't.
Jay, I got news for you, cuz. Nobody needs to be paid to do that.
Oh, cuts deep. Cuts deep.
Oh, here comes Blitz. LeBron haters, I swear. The man is 40. What does he have to do to prove to people he is the GOAT?
Oh, I don't know. Cry for every single call in the world ever since he entered the league?
Sorry.
I don't know. Maybe that.
And
do you ever see
I'm
Jokic
sorry,
do
but
nope.
Beat all of Michael Jordan's stats, which nope. Sorry.
Nope.
Listen, I'll admit, okay, I watch basketball, Jay and I both religiously. I will say that, you know, as a player, his ability, LeBron James is an amazing basketball player. I cannot get on board with someone who acts like a baby to get his way. I can't. I'm a very for me a bit, and this is in every sport, in every facet of my life. I put a lot of stock, not in the player and their ability or whatever. I put a lot of stock into character. And I'm sorry, I cannot stand behind LeBron James and the way he acquits himself on the court, the way that he whines, the way that he flops, the way that he complains and screams and throws temper tantrums. That to me is enough for me to always and forever be out on LeBron James. So Denver City Productions playoff contenders, let's fucking go. And you know, Jay, I've got the stat lines. We haven't really talked much on stat lines except for Bose. Can we go through a few of these just for a second here?
Absolutely, because there are some surprises, in my opinion, when we look at box score for this game.
Oh my gosh! So Bo Nix again. I'm going to say it again because he deserves to have this said again. Bo Nix, 28 for 33. For 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions, 1 sack, and 145 passer rate. That's straight money. Straight money. How about rushing? Javonte Williams, the bell cow today.
I was going to say, the demise of Javonte Williams was greatly overstated. And myself as well, like we said on pregame, I had started Audric Estime in one of my fantasy leagues because I thought he was going to be bell cow moving forward. The 1 carry for Javonte last week I thought was going to be a representation of what's to come. Not the case. Whoa, not so fast. Javonte's still in this mix, and he is still a power horse. Yeah, I mean, granted, that offensive line really moved him for that touchdown, but Javonte played pretty dang well, I'd say. Even a really good catch out of the back, from memory serves me right. Let's see what that was. Yeah, he's got 4 catches for 28 yards. I didn't know he had 4 catches, but that's pretty dang good out of the backfield.
Yeah, he had 4. Javonte Williams had 4 catches for 28 yards. He also had 9 carries for 59 and a touchdown. Very well done by him. You know, I loved what I saw. Also, I would love to plug a little bit. Audric Estime did not see what the kind of production we thought we would see from him today, but I would love to point out a single play with Audric Estime that while we were on the neighborhood doing this, I called it out and it blew my, and I was very impressed. He was on his way through the defensive line, had the ball secured, and they tried to pull it free like they have in the past on him with his multiple fumbles. And you watch as the ball started to come free and he pulled it back into his chest, secured it, got down, and and did not fumble the ball. We're starting to see that progression from him of improving and not fumbling.
See, I thought you were gonna point out the hurdle.
That was incredible too. That was incredible. It was, and unfortunately, it counted for nothing.
It did
because Bo Nix, and I'm not. And here's the thing: a lot of people are going to be mad about Garrett Bowles for that getting called back. However, I'm going to say this: I'm not mad at the guy. Someone targeted his quarterback, and unfortunately, a flag was not thrown for it, and he defended his quarterback. And that's what Garrett Bowles, as the left tackle, as the protector. He's like, if you think about the left tackle position in general, their job, if you could quantify it to a real life job, is bodyguard. The left tackle is the bodyguard of the quarterback. He saw a dude make a pretty dirty play on his quarterback, and he wasn't having it.
Sure. He
defended him. It resulted in negative yardage. I don't like that part, but at the end of the day, I would have done the same thing if I was in his shoes. So I'm not mad at him for it. Now I want to put this in, if that's okay, real quick. This is going back to the our basketball talk for a second. Blitz says, Johnny, I have a question. If you could get away with it, wouldn't you use that to your advantage? You can't hate him for using emotion in the game. If you could get away with it, I guarantee you would do it. See, here's the thing. I don't know if maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. You're not wrong about that. But the way that I'm from an outside perspective looking in, okay, the way that I see things is if you truly are the best of all, the greatest of all time, if you truly are the GOAT, then your play should speak enough for itself that you shouldn't have to do that. If you truly are the greatest player of all time, you shouldn't have to act like that.
Johnny, do you remember last playoff series against the Lakers where LeBron literally stomped up and down with both of his feet at the same time?
Like a toddler. Like my 3-year-old.
Do you think the GOAT would do that? Now, granted, people will say, well, Tom Brady acted that way, but Tom Brady acted that way on the sideline to his teammates, not to the refs. Not even what Patrick Mahomes does in this era. Patrick Mahomes does that to the refs as well. I don't like players that are pussyfooting around to refs and trying to sway judging calls.
And you can
never been my thing.
Call me biased. You can call me biased if you want as a Nuggets fan, but we have the reigning NBA MVP. He's 3 times MVP in the last 4 years. And you don't ever see that kind of personality.
He did early on in his career, I will say.
Jokic did. But he grew up. And that was early on in his career. But let's be honest, he wasn't anything special early on in his career. He grew, and as he grew, that went away. And now you see this guy who's putting up these numbers, who's getting it 3 times in 4 years MVP, and he doesn't do that. And I respect that so much more because he literally goes out there, he lets his play speak for itself, he leads his team, and that's all he does. He leads by example, and that's all I need. That's what I like, and that's why I like, that's that kind of character is what I value.
And that's why I'm so happy. I'm so happy we've got the personality of Bo Nix as going to be the leader of our franchise moving forward, because he seems as if he is going to be far more hard on himself and far more hard on his coaching staff. Like we've already seen a blow up on Sean Payton before. We've seen him go to the wide receiver core and say, you got to help me out, like being direct and being frustrated with them. but I've never seen him in an external sense to anyone outside of our organization act that way. At least not yet.
No.
So I don't know.
Not
Differing
yet.
opinions of different athlete personalities, but I don't know.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head there, Jay. I don't. Maybe it's not so much that I don't just dislike LeBron. I just don't respect him.
Yeah, and
I respect
Space Jam
his
2
ability.
sucked.
Yeah, Space Jam 2 was garbage. I can respect his ability as a player. I can respect that. I can. I cannot stand behind. I cannot stand behind his actions on his actions.
So I want to tie up a loose end here real quick. Just kind of going squirrel here. We got Anthony Maddox in the chat here.
That's a new name.
It is a new name. So,
here's to you, Anthony. Welcome to the Orange and Blue Crew.
Absolutely. Jimmy Lake. Jimmy Lake needs to go, and no doubt about it, Anthony. That's the bottom line. Now you'll have to sew me in here. Who's Jimmy Lake again? Do you know, Johnny?
No,
Okay.
That doesn't.
Well, screw Jimmy.
That doesn't ring a bell.
I'll agree with you, Anthony. I don't know, but go ahead with the Jimmy Lake hate. I'm all here for it, but wanted to make sure we get that in because new guy in the chat there. Let's see here. All right, Blitz, thank you for sending that article about Sean Payton and the refs. We will definitely sew that in and maybe talk about it on Nothing Rhymes on Tuesday because I would like to read that. Let's see here. Another thing I want to get to, Blitz, talking about just we needed this offense all year, and if we get this, we're going to be a problem. Bo and Troy Franklin are starting to hook up a lot, and that is a scary duo. And one thing I guess I will say is I'm happy that it has not evolved into a either or as far as playmaking capabilities for Franklin versus Mims. It could have been a either or in Sean Payton's playbook of, hey, you're the same player, and we're going to etch up some plays for this player type, and whoever's hot is going to get it. We still have been seeing both involved at the same time, and that's a big deal to me, at least from a Sean Payton perspective. What do you think?
And I mean, it is. And I mean, here's the thing. I've talked about Sean Payton. I've talked about how he can act, how he talks to people. And again, there's another person who I can like as my coach, but I struggle liking him as a person because of the way he treats other people. The character flaws definitely take me back sometimes.
No bucket hats.
But yeah, no bucket hats. Come on, man. They're just hats. Like, seriously, I like bucket hats. They're great.
First rule when he gets hired.
All right.
First order of business, no bucket hats. For God's sakes.
What's wrong with keeping the sun off my face and off my neck? Really?
Says the guy in a visor. Get out of here.
Here comes Blue Broncos again. Orange and boo. Okay, now I'm starting to think that Boo Broncos is not a troll, but actually a ghost.
Ooh. Well, he missed Halloween. Swing
has
and
to
miss
keep
there,
jumping
bud.
out of us and saying boo. But I'm sorry, I ain't scared.
I ain't scared either. I got street cred.
So,
my name's one letter.
Keep
Let's
on,
go.
keep trolling. I'll throw it right back at you every time.
Yep.
But I'm very, very happy. Very happy with what I saw across the board for this team. We started talking defense, but let's look at this. Real quick. Receiving, Cortland Sutton, 78 yards on 7 catches with a long. The longest is a 23, and that was 7 receptions on 8 targets. So he only dropped 1, and it was a well defended pass, by the way.
Yeah,
and he had that Randy Moss catch that Randy Moss style catch right over the head of a defender that was glorious. And then, 4 different receivers with touchdowns today. You had even though this guy kind of pissed me off several times in the game with drop passes. Little Jordan Humphrey, but he had 4. See, this can't be right because there were several passes that it says that he was 4 for 4 on targets. Which he
yes,
wasn't.
because that was a crap call. That should have been an incomplete pass, not a catch fumble. Can we all
No,
agree
the thing
on that?
is, I don't, because Zay and I we were watching it live. We were talking about it. He did bring it into his chest, and he made a football move.
Yeah,
it
but
came loose as he hit the ground.
What was the football move?
He began to bring his leg out in front of him. He was coming down with it. It was a football move. When it hit the ground, it popped out, and he re-secured it. And so, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think it was a bad call. I actually, watched it. Zay and I watched it slow motion, and both of us were saying, no, that was a football move. He brought it into his chest. He had it secure. He was coming down. He had one leg out, ready to move. That's a football move. And then as he was brought down by the defender, it popped loose. It's a fumble, which he re-secured, and ipso facto, first down. I mean, it could go either way. Honestly, it could.
Very close.
But I do see why they overturned it. And I'm sure the Atlanta Falcons fans right now are saying a lot of the same on that play alone. Are saying a lot of the same things we were saying about the Chiefs and the refs last week.
Are you crazy? Are you?
Yeah. But I digress. I'm okay with that. But anyway, we had Lil Jordan Humphrey, 4 receptions, a touchdown for 40, for 52 yards total. Devon Vele didn't get a touchdown, but man, was he Mr. Consistency today.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 4 for 5, 66 yards over the middle. Using him over the middle is amazing.
For as big a body as he is, I'm floored at the positioning that we're putting him in a slot perspective and giving him autonomy to go over the middle. You usually don't get that for a big body wide receiver like him. So that's a good game plan. That's not even necessarily a Vele thing. That's, again, a Sean Payton thing of putting him in a position that, he gets an advantage over whoever he's covering in a nickel sense. Because typically nickel cornerbacks are pretty dang small.
Yeah. And he did a fabulous job. Marvin Mims, 2 receptions, got a touchdown. We saw better hands from Marvin Mims today. Yeah. And good route running. And great route running. So, now maybe Marvin Mims is getting it figured out. I mean, again, it's not consistent enough yet for me to say he's got it figured out, but we saw better play from him today offensively, not just on special teams.
Yep.
Agree. Javonte Williams had 4 catches for 28 yards. We already talked about that. How about Troy Franklin? 2 catches for 15 yards and a touchdown. Nate Atkins, tight end, for 1 catch.
But
got a touchdown?
Play call in the red zone on that first touchdown, man. Wide open. Yeah. Incredible Sean Payton call.
Just a little dump off to the right, and boom, he's off to the races into the end zone. It was glorious, and it was very well executed. The Falcons did not see it coming at all.
No.
At all.
Probably is not going to work again in the near future because now that's on tape, and people are looking for that because that's almost like a trick play. You never see NFL teams run something like that.
Yep. And then, of course, let's talk defensively just a little. How about Nick Bonito?
How about
7 tackles, 4 of them solo, 2 sacks. Or 2 sacks and 2 tackles for loss.
Bruh.
In a big way. Jaquan McMillan led the team today. They picked on him early in the game, and he struggled early on. But then he kind of found his rhythm, and once he did, he was awesome. And he 9 total tackles, 5 of them solo. You had Riley Moss. I mean, that guy was a pass breakup machine out there today.
Played very well. He really did.
Very,
I was
very
impressed
well.
by Riley Moss.
Cody Barton had an interception.
Yeah. You very rarely see him in coverage in a zone perspective. But he was very deep in coverage, probably 10, 15 yards out on that interception. That was pretty impressive.
It was very impressive. It was great. Zach Allen was kind of not as talked about today, unfortunately, but he kind of was down for a while. And I think he was probably hobbled a little bit after that.
And he just like in the Baltimore game where he said, well, that's the first time in my career I got double teamed. I think he's getting highlighted more than we probably recognize from the opposite team because of the kind of year he's having. And that's,
Mhm.
especially in an interior sense, that's going to damper what you can do once you're double teamed.
Yes. And I mean, and kudos to the defensive line. A lot of really good, great stopping of Robinson at the in the run game, and of course, I mean, Malcolm Roach gets a sack for the day. So does Jonah Ellis gets a sack for the day. It was just 4 team sacks today.
Yeah,
and
showed up, man, as expected
in every way. Yes, and then. Special teams. Last but not least, we got to talk special team stats just a little.
Oh.
You had Marvin Mims had 3 punt returns with a long of 37 yards. It was a very well executed. I don't know if you noticed, Jay, but did you see how he started going, then slowed down for a second? He was patient. He waited for his moment. He didn't just charge right into the fire and pray to God he'd get through it. He saw the defenders. He analyzed. He slowed down for a second. As soon as he saw his hole, he took off. And when he got it was a 37-yard return. Very dangerous. Very good. Will Lutz, 1 for 1 on field goals. So I mean, he only had to go for 1 field goal. And he got every extra point. So good on Will Lutz. And Riley Dixon only had to punt 3 times. His long was 51 for the day. Not great, not shabby, but he placed it. He doesn't have the power boot. You know what I mean? Like, he's not the guy that you'd watch just boot it away and punt God style.
Yeah.
But his accuracy is second to none. He puts it inside the 5-yard line as much as anybody I've ever seen. And then, of course, kudos to the rest of our special teams unit on those, because they get down there and they down it quick.
It's true.
And so, it was like you said, Isaiah said it during the neighborhood. He said it during the neighborhood. We didn't just see complimentary football. We've been asking for complimentary football, offense and defense, for a long, long time. When one was on fire, the other one was struggling. But what we saw today was 3-stage complimentary football. Yeah. All 3 phases of the game were playing on fire. And it was just,
And so it reminds me, honestly, of that, defenses can be really good in short games, or in games that are close. And our defense has played very well in close games. But when we give them a lead to work with, that unlocks the play calling of a defense exponentially from a blitz package, from a pressure standpoint. And that's already a strength of ours, in even strength, if you talk about that in a close game. It reminds me of how effective DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller were when Manning would give them a 14 to 21 point lead. They could just tee off. And so if our offense can continue to perform like this, our defense is going to be even better than what it has been. And we're going to get more turnovers.
They're going to feast.
Yep.
And there's no other way to say it. They're just going to eat and eat and eat. I mean, you don't have to be worried about our defensive line getting, fat, because they're eating all day. And it's great. And, D-Rock giving a shout out to the Roach King.
Yeah.
Can't kill a roach. Blitzby repping, popping in. John Franklin Myers is scary good.
JFM's great, man.
Dude, all those
playing great.
All those guys side by side together. If we can lock all these guys down and keep this team together for a good while, this defense can take us so many places.
Yep.
I mean, we're already listen. I don't care what anybody says. We are already on our way to the playoffs. We're already on our way there.
We played this game. We all saw it against a playoff team. This wasn't Carolina Panthers. So if we play,
or New Orleans Saints,
correct. If we play this style of football complete, we literally can beat anyone in this league. Not joking. So getting into the playoffs is one thing, but making noise in the playoffs, this is the game that catapults you into that discussion.
That's one of the things that we talked about. Excuse me, all season long, year after year, not just this season, but year after year. It's just make it back to the playoffs. But now what we're seeing is a team where I actually have confidence that we might be able to make get a win in the playoffs.
The bar's been
or
moved.
2. It has. It's up. It's up.
Yep.
And I'm here. I for one did not see it coming, but I'm here for every second of it.
Can I make just a really quick announcement, and then I wanna get to our last segment here. Yep.
Yeah.
But I do want to throw this out here, just real quick. Happy payday to all the over win total people out there as we hit our 6th win, the 5.5. Cha-ching! So,
we got a sound for that, baby. We got a sound for that.
Nice feeling tomorrow checking out that there balance total after that 6th win. So, congratulations to everybody that hopped on that train. I did tell people to put their 401k on it. So hopefully you did. So with no further ado,
on it. I did not, but I did put money on it, and I did make some money tonight.
Absolutely. Without further ado, let's talk about some balls. Let's get some accolades out there to an absolute fantastic game with tons of highs. So let's get into who's got some balls.
Well,
all right,
Jay, I think it's safe to say this whole team's got balls.
Yeah, dude.
But we got some other balls to give.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough game, honestly, to give game balls out because top down, like everybody played well. There's really not a whole lot of hiccups that we saw other than little Jordan.
No, not really.
That was it. That was the only negative mark I had on my score sheet. But Johnny, why don't you start us out? What do we do? 3 each?
Well, real quick.
3 each?
Oh yeah, we got to go at least 3 each.
Okay.
Real quick, I got to give some love here to Blitzby repping. Glad to hear about playoffs, but I still really want Travis Hunter.
Heisman.
Even though he is way out of reach, I just wish there's a way to get him, dude. We'd have to give up everything to go that high to get him.
Yeah, and speaking of making money, if anyone can still put money on Heisman odds, you better go double down on Travis Hunter because he just sewed that up yesterday. So,
yeah. Oh my God, how many 4 touchdowns by Travis Hunter yesterday?
Well, he had an interception, and he had I only think he had 1 touchdown, but it was a sick reverse that was like
it was glorious.
Yards.
It was insane.
Amazing.
I didn't get to catch the whole game, but I caught that, and it was unbelievable. And Denver City says big balls. Blitzby Reppin says offensive line deserves the balls. All right. Yeah. Denver City, talk about some balls. Who's got some balls?
Mm-hmm.
D-Rock giving 2 out, only 2. Sean Payton and VJ. All right. I like it. I'll start. You know what? I hate, me, Jay. I'm always trying to find the one that nobody else is looking for. The one that surprises
people. Come on down.
No. 1 for 1 and made every extra point is great, but no. That's not enough for me to give him a game ball today. When he gets out there and our score is supplemented by 4 scored kick field goals, that's one thing. No, it's definitely not Will Lutz today. But today I'm not doing that at first. I'm not looking for the shocking one, the one that was like, made me think. No, I'm going the most obvious one possible because you know what? I want to be that guy tonight because I'm that pumped about this guy tonight. And in fact, I'm so pumped. I said last week it would be another year before I would consider buying a Bo Nix jersey. After tonight, I will be ordering my Bo Nix jersey as soon as I get paid.
Yeah.
So
it's a green.
Bo Nix. Game ball right now. That dude, once again, what was it? I had it up. I'm going to pull it back up one more time.
5 incompletions. Only 5 people.
No. That's this dude went off the chain. Bo Nix, 28 for 33, 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, got sacked 1 time, basically by his own offensive lineman. And a passer, a QBR, a passer rating of 145, and a couple of rushes too. I forgot to mention that, a couple of rushes as well, and he didn't even get a lot on that, but he still went for it. The dude is on fire. Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's going to get it, in my opinion. He's going to get it. He's going to keep on progressing and showing the world why Sean Payton believed in him, why he was the guy. He is the guy. And tonight we saw it. And for that, Bo Nix gets a freaking game ball, baby.
Yeah. Denver City Production in here saying Super Saiyan Bo. No, I'm saying. But yeah, he is Super Saiyan, dude. Super Saiyan 3.
I thought you said go, Bo, go.
It's a huge improvement, and our resident Canadian here. I'll be honest, Bo's improved faster than I expected, but he misses protection adjustments and other routes which are open. I will give you that there are still definitely some things to sew up for him, but he has progressed and developed every single week to be better than the previous week, and I will say from the advanced play calling scheme that we've given him ever since the New Orleans game, he has only flourished with more on his plate from a mental standpoint.
And will continue to do so. And the thing is, yes, those things are, I see what you're saying, missed protection adjustments and missed routes. But as he progresses, once he starts to see those and not miss them, with what we are seeing him do right now, imagine what we're going to be seeing him do once he's got those down. This dude is on fire. He gets a game ball. He gets the game ball.
Yeah.
The flaming game ball. Whatever you want to say. But dude had balls. Dude got a ball.
Yeah. And
Jay.
And Richie comes back and says that is a true statement of the, I guess the development and progress that he's made in the advanced play calling system that's getting thrown at him, other than the KC and Baltimore. I would argue yes for the Baltimore because he did look rough in the Baltimore game.
Not against KC. He looked good against KC.
He played very well against a top 5 defense. Baltimore's defense was garbage. He should have dominated that better than he did, but I'm not going to hold it against him playing the way he did in Kansas City for his first time. But
hey, let's let him get let's go all the way and let him get a rematch against the Ravens in the postseason. How about that?
I don't want to see Baltimore. That's probably the only AFC team I don't want to see again, honestly.
I actually agree with that, but still.
But for my first game ball, I am going with a guy that I have been very, very harsh on in the past, and that is Marvin Mims. But Marvin Mims has come through in the opportunities that he's been given and has flourished. It is almost like we flipped the switch and sat him down in a meeting and said, give me your top 10 plays that you as a player are the most comfortable running. And that's what we've done for him moving forward. Not try to fit him in the system that Sean wants him to be in, but catering to his skill set. And it has been a profound difference on the first half of the season versus the second half of the season to what positions we're putting Marvin Mims in. I mean, moving forward, is Marvin Mims going to be our leading rusher? Because
I don't
crazily opportunities out of the backfield, whether they work or not. He's getting the opportunities. And he continues to be the Pro Bowl returner that he was in his rookie year, and he had a great punt return today that set us up in plus field position. And it doesn't take much for our offense to get points when you start
and resulted in points.
Correct. It doesn't take much. So it's just pluses all around. He's smiling. He's vibing. So Marvin Mims with my first game ball.
I love it. And Jay, Rich says this. I'm wrong about Bo in the KC game. He allowed those major sacks that were easily avoidable. Okay, I see your point there, bud, but I'm still going to point out the fact that Bo Nix went toe-to-toe with the reigning Super Bowl MVP, 3-time Super Bowl winning quarterback, and outperformed him.
I see what he means, though. The reverse spins. The reverse spins.
I do. I'm not saying that there's not room for improvement. I'm not at all saying that.
But
there are things.
He won reverse today. Not one of those, backside reverses.
Nope.
So
it's
getting there.
It's getting there. All right. Next game ball goes to. All right, I'm gonna make this easy. Sean Payton.
Good. Somebody,
Sean Payton. As hard as people have been on him, we had people on the neighborhood being real hard on him, especially after that. What was it? Second drive where we stalled out in our second drive. And they were like, "Come on, man! Why are you sitting down?" Look, I don't think he was. I just think it was a bad drive. Yep. But regardless, he did what I was calling for it the entire game. I said we need to put our foot. I said it all through the neighborhood. I made my Army reference. Put my boot on their throat and not let up. And I mean, all game long, even though the score was running up and we could have tried to sit back and coast on our lead. We put boots to their, cleats in this case, to their throats, and we crushed their freaking windpipe.
Yeah.
Sean Payton was just he was just like, let's go out there. We're not just going to beat them. We're going to embarrass them.
Yep.
That loss last week hurt us. It was painful because it shouldn't have happened. And we're out for blood. Let's go get blood. And we got blood. We got our pound of flesh. So, and it's thanks to the play calling and the game scheming of Sean Payton. So Sean Payton, game ball to you, sir.
Nope. I'm gonna keep on that, and I'm going VJ. And the reason I'm going VJ is because the massive hole that was left in this defense from Brandon Jones's injury and how we schematically made up for that. I don't think that was a plug and play. We can say, oh, well, Devon Key just stepped up. And that's the reason why the defense, continued to dominate was because of Devon Key. It wasn't. It was a schematic adjustment that VJ made. And I will say McMillan was up against Drake London in the beginning of the game, and London feasted, and then we made an adjustment from there. PS2 was not just blanketed on one wide receiver. He was on Mooney a lot, but he went all around. He was on a lot of different players this game. That is the kind of adjustments that make this defense what it is the adjustments. And VJ just continues to just dominate in adjustments versus his opposing offensive coordinator he's going against in the coach versus coach battle. So VJ definitely deserves a game ball for this kind of performance. In
a big way.
Top 5 offense.
I'm still, I still look back on his tenure as head coach here with just disgusted.
A leader of men.
No, sorry. You led nothing good, but in that time, but now, but when it comes to calling this defense, the man is absolutely he's showing the NFL, I am not afraid of any offense you can throw at me.
Yeah, he's smart. He's a very smart.
He's very smart, and I think that game ball is well deserved, Jay.
Yep.
So
last game ball
for last game ball for me. I've given one to offense and one to a coach. Third game ball, and I'm going to go defense on this one. It may be another one that's slightly obvious, but he keeps getting them from us. But I'm going to go for it again because dude's he has proven me so wrong, Jay. I was so out on this player when we drafted him, and I remained out on him through it. And now I'm happy he's proving me wrong, and that's Nick Bonito. Gets a game ball from me. I mean, the dude is now 5th in the league in total sacks, and he hasn't even played. He hasn't even started all season.
Bruh.
And he's got 9 on the season, and he's got 2 today. 2 sacks, plus a bunch of tackles and 2 tackles for loss. The guy is an absolute animal. He is so fast on the get off, and he's bendy and he's twitchy and he's flexible and he's fast and he hits hard. Nick Bonito is going to be a nightmare for quarterbacks in this league going forward. And I love, as someone who used to work in and even assistant manage a haunted house, I love nightmares.
Yeah.
So thank you, Nick Bonito. Here's your game ball, sir. Another one for this season from the Orange and Blue Network and MHRT Network.
Dude, he's racking them up. We keep on pounding the same points home every week, it seems like, but what a draft pick from George Payton. Believing in that guy, reaching for him, looking at the potential, the rawness of his skills. And there's even, we talk about the development of Bo in a progression week over week. I'm seeing different things even from Nick Bonito. of not being overly pursuant and aggressive on his pass rush and making sure that he's recognizing screens and just, running quarterbacks as well. Dude, he's nuts. So that's an amazing game ball, and I'm sure he's not done with game balls for the year. So
no, God, no. Big Bad Denver City Production says Big Bad Barton did his thing.
Yeah,
love it. Jay, it's time for your final game ball before we get out of here.
All right, final game ball for me. Another guy that I was very wrong on, and he's having the resurgence. I'm going to give the opportunity because I don't know how many more opportunities he'll get for one. But Pookie Javonte Williams is going to get a game ball for me because I thought he was dead in the water, soon to be an inactive, soon to not be a player on this team. I thought Audric Estime was taking his lunch and running with it. But Javonte has a place on this team. He has a role. He's obviously a very well-respected player on this roster, being, I guess, a veteran on the offense in an age sense. Crazy to think that. He's still on a rookie contract, but he's a veteran.
It's the running back position, dude. It's the running back position.
But man, his legs still churn. He averaged 6.6 yards a carry on 9 carries. Led the team in carries. That incredible touchdown, which, the offensive line gave the push, but he stood upright, not to fall down, to allow that to happen. And that's been a repeatable thing through the history of him being a Denver Bronco. It's just to keep upright and let people push him forward. And that includes defenders pushing him forward.
Absolutely.
So,
and I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I hear what you're saying. You're saying, when you say that he has a place on this team. A lot of us have been saying he's not going to be a Bronco next year. Well,
I said this year.
There's a good chance he ends up on the team next year. Will he be the starter? Maybe, maybe not. But, and you talked about the trust. You saw that kind of trust because I was ready to, we're Broncos country. Most of us were ready to give up on him, but Sean Payton obviously trusts him enough because he made him the bell cow today and he made the best of it today. Like I said, my one thing on Javonte, week in, week out, is inconsistent. This week he was great. Next week he may not be because that's what we've seen historically from him in the last 2 seasons. His rookie season was phenomenal. The last 2 seasons with him have been up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down the whole freaking time. So I'm not going to sit here and say that, he's redeemed himself completely because if he comes out next week and gets and only gets a yard or 2 per carry, and can't make any real headway through defensive lines or around defensive lines, I'm going to be like, see, it was another flash in the pan game for the guy. Yeah. And so I'm knocking on wood because I want him to be the guy. I would love for him to be the guy because I was really high on him when we drafted him. But, we'll see. We'll see. Steve Atwater.
For a playoff team, he's the gritty running back you need in the dead of December and January. So he's going to have a role on this team moving forward. So it's really good to see him involved still. It is. Johnny, do you have any other final thoughts for this game overarching?
No, nothing overarching. It was no, I mean, it was a phenomenal game. It was a great game all around. And that's all I can say. We won. And we won in convincing fashion against a good team.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I guess the only final thought I will have is national media, freaking stop overlooking the Denver Broncos. Because we're you're seeing it now. You're seeing it this season. It's happening. And more, you're not going to be able to overlook us anymore.
I was going to say, I swear to God, if I see Bo Nix on a quarterback ranking for the week at 25 again, I'm going to lose it. There's no way that the disrespect should continue to be there for Bo Nix. So
yeah, agreed. Nick Benito, not Nick Benito, Blitz popping in one more time to say Benito's first step off the line honestly makes it look like he jumps off sides, but he times it perfect. You see that play where he read the play and started running to make a tackle. I love that. I agree wholeheartedly. And he also says Chiefs lost. Let's effing go. Love it. Yep. And of course, we would be remiss if we didn't let Boo Broncos try to troll us one more time. So Boo Broncos pops in and saying it was a bad game. Yeah, for the Falcons, not for the Broncos. So thank you for playing, but try again later.
Yep.
All right. But that's the only final thought I have, Jay, is that we can no longer be ignored.
Yeah, man. We control our own destiny, just like the Colorado Buffaloes. All we got to do is win, and we're in. And this team is going into the months where in years past, we've kind of wrote this team off already. But we're going into meaningful football into the holidays. And it's not the fake Russell Wilson 5-game win streak. This is real and true. And I'm just so excited to see meaningful football all the way through this season. So I'm so excited, Johnny. Another addition to that, another chapter. So with that, folks, really appreciate you being here. Really appreciate the comments throughout the show, the interactions, the likes. So please, the trolls as well. But once again, please find our channels, our other shows. We are the Orange and Blue Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. We will have the Nothing Rhymes flagship podcast on Tuesday night. Broncos Talk with the Don Diaz on Wednesday night. And Viva Los Broncos on Friday night. Brand new show. So please tune in for those showings. And then, of course, next game, we'll be back with pregame, with postgame. So all your favorite shows here on the network. But for that, Johnny, really appreciate you and your marathon here today. So take a breath.
I love doing it, Jay. I love doing it, Jay. It's actually like, this is my favorite day of the week right now.
Absolutely.
I love doing this. This is my happy place. So thank you, Broncos Country. Thank you for hanging with me all day long.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, take her easy and positive vibes into the week. Let's go, Broncos Country.